Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Startup in a month 2, day 8. Man, it's always, starting the stream is always a weird moment, but I get into it quickly. Anyway, we're starting a bit later today. I usually start these things at 9:30. It's just about 10 o'clock here on the eastern coast of the United States. Man, weird start. Come on, man. Just see where you are and what you're doing. Anyway, we're building Pic Story. Welcome. Let's see. Maybe we can start with where we're at and we can move on into where we're going. So, yeah, let's see where we're at right now. So, if you're new to the stream, if you haven't been watching, well, welcome. And, yeah, let's see. Pic Story. If you want to learn more about what we're doing here, you can go to the blog, startupamonth.net, and there's going to be this link, Pic Story pitch. This is going to have a summary of what we're building. So I'd encourage you to go there to check that out if you want to learn more about the project. But suffice it to say that this is going to be a thing which you can use to kind of like add photos to a kind of like custom web page that you build. So if you have like pictures that you want to do and you want to have them in a particular layout, just a real easy like kind of WYSIWYG like interface, that's one thing that this is gonna offer to you. It's going to have pictures in a particular layout. They're going to be different layouts, and they're going to look way better than they do right here, since my grid stuff is kind of messed up, and I don't feel like fixing it right now. But yeah, so far we've got this like 4x4 grid and this 2x2 grid, and if you look, we've got a button layer and a template layer. So the template layer is where the actual pictures themselves go. When you click on something in the button layer, we'll replace that image source with, right now, just a random, like, meme or something. One of the guys in my stream suggested we go to a particular subreddit for these pictures, so we just got some, like, kind of ridiculous pictures right now, so... Anyway, clicking on these will add images. You can add any kind of layout blocks in any kind of arbitrary order you want. They've all got the same content, of course, but that's the basic idea. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where we can add like text instead of images, so that's going to be fun. We've got the point where we can like add these things pretty reliably. I'm not seeing my close button from last time, so I hope that didn't get blown out of the water, because I spent a long time trying to figure out that code. But anyway, we've gotten part of the way towards deleting these things. We've got a little bug in terms of like not only deleting the actual layout block within the UI, but also the associated like image information with it. So first thing we're going to do this morning is we're going to kind of get the delete functionality working, so it's like behaving as we expect it to. And then the second thing we're going to do is get to a point where I don't want to look at these anymore. We get to a point where we can add layout blocks in between. So right now we can like just kind of like add them onto the bottom, like push them into the array, if you will, of layout blocks. And what would be great to have is the ability to add layout blocks in between, since people aren't just gonna like kind of have this perfect vision of what this thing is gonna look like right off the bat. It's probably gonna be more so a process of like they add some blocks and then they think like, oh, I'd like this to go in between that. So that needs to be something as well. So yeah, we're just basically refining the process by which we like actually add these things to the browser, to the DOM itself, and yeah, once we get the ability to kind of add and delete layout blocks in any position, add images in any position, delete in any position, I think the kind of broad stroke functionality for this is like more or less done. Need the ability to add images and also need the ability to kind of customize like image, like layout and looks. So I've been thinking a little bit about that. And one thing I think would be really cool to do would be to actually make the CSS utility library that I've been using to build this out just available to the users. So you may or may not be familiar with this thing called Tailwind CSS. I've never actually watched this. This is actually kind of a good demonstration of what Tailwind can do. So essentially it's like built up of these like teeny tiny little, is this editable? That'd be so cool if it was. I'm afraid it's not, however. These teeny tiny little like utility CSS classes that control like one thing, like if you can see the caption, font medium, that's controlling the, geez, this thing is all over the place, isn't it? That's controlling the text size here. If you look at text cyan 600, that's controlling the text color on the name of the author or the commenter here. Text large, font semi-bold. Okay, so font medium was actually controlling. Ooh. Hello? I went back, didn't I? So font medium was actually controlling the stuff here, and text bold was controlling the text here. But anyway, you get the idea, where it's just like a bunch of teeny tiny little classes that like control one style, and you build up the style for an element by like adding these things progressively to it, and like altering those attributes individually. So that'd be really cool to make that available in some fashion to the users of the site, which will do two things for me. One, it will, I think in my most ideal state, this will like enable people to like get as creative with this thing as they want to be, because one of the problems I'm trying to solve is the following. Pic Story pitch. I wonder why my Twitter link is the link that I have in my browser shortcuts, but anyway, let's check this out, shall we? One of the things that I'm trying to do with this product, and one thing that I am like really frustrated with when it comes to the thing that it's like kind of emulating or attempting to improve upon, is the fact that this like Google Photos album feature is like just kind of like restrictive and kind of relies on just like magical stuff that whoever built this thing thought would be like the stuff that you would want out of it. So in terms of layouts and image styles and sizes and things like that, well, actually, it does look like they have filters and stuff, so, I mean, that's, like, one thing, right? But when it comes to, like, layouts and styles and things that will make this thing, like, really pop and visually interesting, not really available through the tool, or if it is available through the tool, it's kind of hard to discover. So, yeah, that's the one thing that I think Tailwind can do for me, is, like, kind of give people, like, a big palette of, like, stuff they can do to the things that they put into the product. And I think there's a certain category of user out there that like really enjoys that kind of freedom. I think that's not for everybody, but I think for people who like want to do that, having that kind of like control and creative possibility is like really appealing. And then two, if I rely on Tailwind for all those like customization things I was just talking about, then I don't have to build them myself, which is really great. I have a 4-hour work week. I've been trying to get my mind around the idea that like I'm one person with a limited amount of time and a certain set of things that I want to do or can do or am good at, and that kind of gets down to this idea of the 4-hour work week, which I haven't actually read the book, but I understand this is all about like delegating and outsourcing things in your life to other people, which will then like free up time for you to do what you want to do or need to do. So yeah, it's kind of like a similar thing, right? Like if I don't have to build my layout styling library from scratch and I can rely on this, then that frees me up to build a whole bunch of other stuff, which that can't be a bad thing. So trying to wrap my mind around it, trying to figure out how I would integrate this thing, trying to figure out my strategy for what I would do, and yeah, that's basically where we're at, right? So anyway, let's get started. Typically start these with a morning warm up, but I'm getting a late start today, so I think I just should jump into work. Okay, so another thing is I've got my front end REPL back, which is really exciting. I was doing some work yesterday to kind of fix my infrastructure and make that possible again. So now I can inspect things and do experiments in the REPL right in the app. So that's really good. That's good. Good development. Delete layout block. Right. Image selector. So where on delete layout block map. Yeah, so I've got these layout blocks. Selector on deletes. Ah, right, there's the close icon that I didn't have. Right. Yeah, so that was in the other version of this app from yesterday, so I need to get that back. Source utility. Let's just copy all that over. Layout blocks. Folder utility index.cljs. Pic Story.utility.index. Right. If you guys have any tips on naming conventions for closure modules, you can feel free to let me know in the chat or send me an email or reach out to me on Slack. Yeah. We gotta do this in JavaScript, since I was a JavaScript developer before I was a Clojure developer. So I would have a folder, and I would have a bunch of files here, and then I would have an index file which I would import everything from. But kind of get the idea that this is not quite how it's done in Clojure, although how it is done in Clojure is a bit of a mystery to me. I haven't read so much Clojure source code that I've got a great sense for how this stuff works. Right. Okay, so we got the close button on just the window panes, so let's just work with that. And let's make sure that we understand what the bug is here. So what we can do is we can add a picture in the top left here. We can add a picture in the top right here. And if we delete this layout block, ostensibly this whole thing, including the picture we added, should go away, but what we do see is not that. So I don't understand what this bug is. Or maybe I already fixed it. Yeah, maybe it's just kind of magically okay. Well, here's what we can do. We've got the REPL back, so let's just take a look at this in the REPL. If we delete these layout blocks, oh, there it was. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so we're not deleting images, and these things have all the wrong row information associated with them. So that's what we got to figure out. And now that we got this back, we can do add images. What are you right now? Really? Atom images. Row 1, row 2, row 1, row 2. So I thought I put a bunch of images in row 0. Oh, there's another bug. We delete both of these. We add them back, and what do we see? I see that. Don't inspect. Go to the REPL. Should I have 6 images in here? 1, 2, 3. No, I've got 3. Oh, okay. So I can delete them out, but I can't reorder them. Row 1, col 0. So I can delete them. Right. I think I can delete them, but I can't reorder them. Ramp. No, I'm like adding way too many images for me to be able to like reliably figure out what's going on here. So let's just like have 3 layout blocks. We've got 1, 2, and 3. Let's delete this one. So we're deleting row 0. Right, so that one stayed there. That's not what we want. Row 1 call, row 2 call 0. Right, so I need to go through and I need to reorder all these numbers. And I'm wondering if this might be a time to start the refactoring process on my state, because I think I'm like a little bit janky and I could probably do this in an easier way. I've got like layout blocks and images. So I've got this sweet like vec remove thing. If it was just a vector of objects with layout blocks and their associated image information, then that would make it a lot easier, but yeah, you know, I'm already kind of deep into this like atom images thing, which I think is also how I'm like rendering the images themselves. Image renderer is like, you know, look at this map at this row and call index. So why don't we stick with this for now and kind of trust that we're working in a language that will make this easy to refactor later if we need to. Just commit because we got a limited amount of time to build this thing. And right. Oh, another good suggestion, something I will do, is refactor the kind of row and column thing I have going on. So someone in the chat yesterday said that if I did something like this, like 01 image URL picture.com/image.jpg, this would be an easier way to access things like in the map, because in Clojure you can use anything as a key. So I've been using keywords, and that's kind of the, like, you know, de rigueur. Teach Tyler, look who it is. Welcome back, man. Glad to have you in the stream. Good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Yeah, so anyway. Hey, morning, QM Stewart. I think I finally figured out loop and recur in Clojure. Ooh, that's something I haven't even figured out myself. I've seen examples of it. I haven't used it. So, yeah, it's cool, man. A kind of manual looping and recursion thing is an interesting concept. Yeah, Yeah, QM Stewart, hello. Teach Tyler, good morning. Yeah, we're getting back into our image deletion thing from yesterday, which is causing us a little trouble. So, I think it might have been one of you two that recommended to refactor to this like tuple thing, so I think we're going to start with that this morning. Just start like real small. Right, so I guess the first place I would start here would be at this point. And kind of just leave that for reference in case I need it again. Refactoring reagent components. Refactoring, yeah, the way I'm rendering reagent components. So, like, I had this thing with like my images before where like row 1 call 1, row 2 call 0. Those were like keywords, but I think if I make them into tuples, that'll make like accessing, reading them, and changing them like a lot easier. So that's the basis I'm working off of this morning. Alright. So, right. Oh, for God's sake. One thing I really need to learn how to do is work with keyboard navigation with closure stuff, because sometimes I just want to delete a brace, but you hit backspace and it just like takes you to the next character. So that's something to learn how to do. Okay, so when I add them, they go into the Atom Images array like that. So I add them, and now I need to go to where I am rendering them. Row. Atom Images. Yeah, maybe just here. Get in image map. Oh, actually, this would be a good opportunity to experiment a little bit, because I don't even know how you'd like access a map via a tuple key. So maybe if we do like def test map, it's gonna be this thing. We like say hi, hello. Teach Tyler and QM Stewart. So we make a little greeting, and then we say like hi, hello, test map. Nope. So maybe I need a get test map at the index of hi and hello. Yep. Okay. So I like the keyword because you can use a keyword like a function, like you know, if we say like Atom Images, we say like row 1 call 1 Atom. Like that's a really easy way to like access a map via its keyword, which is simultaneously a keyword but also a function. Like so crazy, so crazy to me. But yeah, this is not bad. Definitely worth it in terms of enabling us to write simpler code. Okay, so get in the image map. At the index. Here we go. Yeah, let's make like a little fake image map and see how we would write this function. So do I still have test map? I do. Are you sure? Story pages index. Did I refresh? Is that why that went away? Anyway, not hard to make it again. So def test map, it's going to be 0, 1, and then it's going to be like image URL test.com/image.jpg. Alright, now we say get in test map. Zero, 1 image URL. I don't think this is going to work, but let's try. It works. Much easier, much less code. Ooh, much less code. That's going to be much nicer. Whoever told me to do that, thank you. It's row index 0. And then some 1, 2, and 3. Ba-ba. You know, let's take a moment here to refine our Calva technique, because I've got a whole bunch of forms I want to delete, and I guarantee that Calva has some kind of thing where it's like delete the whole form that you're in. Select maybe. Control-Alt-C, Control-Alt-C-S. Like that. Control-Command. This is all written from the perspective of Windows users, so. Control-W. Maybe this. Control-W. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Control-W. Big, big, big. Go away. Right. And now, because we have, like, so much less code, we can all fit this on one line, which makes it much easier to read. It's great. Okay, so I think that means we can render an image. This might be totally broken, but let's try it out. Yes, we can now render an image. That's great. And let's do that for this as well. Control-W like we just learned. Row index 0. Control-W. Row index 1. We must remember, of course, to have proper alt text at some points. It's very important for accessibility, but not quite yet. Not even sure what I would put there. I guess the user would put something there, wouldn't they? Maybe a file name at the very least. And that's it, right? Okay. So now I got that. Now we need a way to delete a block. String row thingy. Right. Remove layout block. This is the code that deals with Atom images. So filter key matches. Yeah, so we're using a regex yesterday, but now we're just working in the domain of like, excuse me, vectors, Atom images. So now we got a map of vectors. So what happens if we like filter? Yeah, first let's see what keys looks like. Keys, Atom images. Right, so it's that, and then filter on the keys of the Atom images. So we were trying to match on a row with the value of row index, but now what we can do is like percent sign, that's going to be the key. We're going to say percent sign at index 0 equals row index, I think. Equals 0. Right, so now I don't want, well, this is not how it's going to be, but let's say we want to delete the keys at index 1 if it equals 3. What do we get? We get 0 and 3. Okay. Yeah, so we wanted to remove that one, so now we need not equals that, which should give us what we're actually looking for. Do I need that extra paren? I'm not sure I do. No, I think I actually do. Print error. Let's make sure this is what we expect it to be. Keys. So filter. Excuse me. So let's back it up a little bit. Equals %13. That'll give us what we're trying to delete. I bet there's like a remove function. There is. Yes, okay, so I'll just do that. Instead of doing the inverse of the predicate that we're trying to run these things against, what we're going to do is do the opposite of filter, like find the things in this vector that match this predicate. What we want to do is remove the things in the vector that match that predicate. Yeah, that is a lot easier. Okay. Applied dissoc. Although we did actually want filter, because now we're like trying to find that key. Like this is the key we want to delete, and then we are dissociating it from the array of atom images. So we did want filter. Thingy. String results. String thread results. Gotta figure out how to name that thing. So it's gonna be a different thing every time I pass it through, right? Like it's gonna be a vector, which is like a index, like a key in a map. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do. You don't need not equals. You can just use not equal. Oh, hey. Not equal 1, 2. True. Not equal 1 and 1. False. More utility functions. And something I love about all these Calva or closure functions is you can pass like more than one argument when you might expect them to only take 2, which is really cool. Okay. Yeah, did we just refactor that whole thing? I think we did. Where are you now? Empty. Excellent. Okay. Wow, that went a lot faster than I thought it would. Hardly 10:30. We've been at this for hardly a half hour. That's great. Okay. So now we need to work on renumbering. When we remove layout blocks, we need to renumber them. And man, it's like poking my buttons. It's kind of poking my buttons because like if we just had this in one map, I wouldn't need to worry about this renumbering thing. Like we've got layout blocks and we've got images. If these things were just tied together, then I would be able to like delete an entry in the state map that had the information about both the layout block and the image. So, do we want to go so far? Well, I haven't refactored much closure code yet. And given that I had such a successful refactor just now, I think that I might... Because, like, where do we render these? At Atom, Images... Yeah, you know, I wouldn't even have to render so much the, what should I do, man? What should I do? Should I refactor it? I think refactoring is going to save me more work than it would take to, like, renumber these things when I do delete them. And I think that is good practice as far as closure is concerned. So you're really encouraged to treat things like data and process things like data. So if I just, like, treat my deletion process as though it was the data that it is, then that's going to make things a lot easier. Yeah, and then these things will, like, be tied together in a way that I don't have to, like, constantly do the wiring back and forth, right? Like, if layout blocks and images just lives in, like, one vector, one array, then that all of a sudden gets a lot easier. Okay. So, we're gonna... we're gonna do that. It's a little freaky, but I think it'll go better than I'm expecting it to. Alright. So blocks, it's going to be a vector which consists of block, window, pane, and images 0, 1, 2, and 3. See, refactor once you have customers. To refactor, not the refactor. Yeah. Refactor once you have customers. Yeah, I mean, that's valid. Valid idea, right? Like, you know, what am I refactoring, really? I'm just refactoring something that, like, no one's even used yet. But, I think in the interest of making my development process easier, like, in the very short term, like, this thing is going to make, like, the stuff I'm doing later in the morning, like, that much easier. I think it's worth it. But, yeah, that's a balance to draw, right? Like, you don't want to spend too much time fiddling when, you know, you could be, like, just doing. But, yeah, I think I think I got my head screwed on right when it comes to what I'm doing right now. Okay. So, blocks, what does this imply? Why are you so screwed up? Yes, okay. Okay, so I guess we start with add layout block. Swap Atom layout blocks by conjuring Atom selected layout block onto it. Okay, so this one is not that bad. Swap Atom blocks with the result of conjuring not just the name of the block, but a map that has the following. Nice emoji. Okay. Maybe images, just an empty map. Okay. Great, so that's add layout block. And now man, I gotta figure out what's going on with Calda. Because my braces and brackets are all goofed. And it kind of happens behind my back and I don't notice it. It freaks me out, man. Okay. So we've had a couple layout blocks. Nothing happened on the UI, but let's see what it looks like now. Object error. Right. Bork something. It's our error, I wonder. Error. Error magically heals itself. Atom blocks. What are you? Oh, right, I didn't wrap this in, did I? No protocol method IID ref defined for that thing. Memory of levels I own is one monolithic PHP file that runs a remote OK. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's like our Atom. That's the thing. Yeah, you see it happen again. That vector should be down here, and both the end of the vector and the end of the object just kind of like invited themselves to like only wrap this thing. That was really annoying. Our Atom. That happened again. Oh. This makes the new closurist nervous because he doesn't know how to fix this stuff when it happens. Def wants to call with 3 R's but expects 2. Block is the window pane, the images is a map. Right. Why are you doing that, man? Def once, add blocks. Block is the window pane, the images is this map. Everything is as it should be. But now we're not calling. Not cool, man. And my tools are goofing me up. Okay, I hope that's the end of that. I need a bracket after that last bracket. I think that's all that's missing. Yeah, is this run now? So now we should be able to log this. Okay, cool. Oh, great. Yeah, we did add them. Okay, now we're back. Yeah, you were enclosing your def once, right? Yeah, I think it was wrapped around Atom block for some reason. Yeah, to get back to your, did you use paredit or parenfer? They're great for keeping brackets in sync. You know, actually, I think that might be my problem. Because I've got Calva, and I've also got parenfer. And Calva kind of does for you what parenfer does. Like it's got like that auto formatting stuff. So maybe parenfer is fighting with Calva, and maybe that's what's going on. Maybe I'm giving Calva a bad rap. So yeah, we'll turn that off and we'll see if it keeps happening. Cause yeah, man, I can't have my braces swapping around on me randomly and unexpectedly in a language like this, where the end of your line looks like that, or this or that. I found parenfer complicated. I find paredit much more intuitive. Calva has paredit built in. Okay, cool, nice. Yeah, don't really know the distinction between the two, but I'll take your word for it. Parenfer basically gives you Python. Oh, cool, nice. Okay, so we got maps of blocks. view, paste and match, start dictation, auto scroll please, yeah, whatever. Okay, so now we got an array of this. So we got that. So we can add a layout block, and now we need to render a layout block. Render layout buttons. Okay. I am at the layout block map, so now I think atom blocks for each index item, add photo, deletes. So this is going to be block, the block of the item at the index of the layout block map, and I think that's all I need to do there. Refresh for good look. Okay, that's all I had to do there. That's great. So we can add blocks. Now we need to do render contents. That's going to be add atom blocks. That's going to be the images of the item. Render template grids. Render contents. Okay. Maybe this works already. Not quite yet. Alright. Render template grids. This is also going to be atom blocks for each item. Do at the block of the item. Wait, what was this before? Atom layout blocks, yep. Do at the block of the item at the index of template map this thing. Images. Images of the item. Okay. Atom blocks, atom blocks. Don't think there's anything down here I need to worry about. Atom blocks, atom blocks. Remove layout block. Add photo. Alright. Are we there yet? Add block, add an image. Nil 2. So we're not getting the row index, are we? Image map and the row index. More bracket goofing. Okay, is that it? 03 image URL. So we're starting these to unclick. So like a add photo, yeah, add photo. Row index, call index, image URL. Okay, swap atom blocks with the result of conjing. Alright, so here So we got the row index, the call index, and the image URL. So let's just make this really easy. Do this in the small first. All right. Test vec. It's gonna be this black window pane, images. Let's make this super simple. All right, so there's our demo state. Let's get this into the REPL. All right. Yeah, why not make it an atom? Okay, so we're going to swap test vec with the following function. So now I need to know how to replace an item in a vector. Item in a vector with another. Place given value in vector. This does not look like closure. Replace. Perfect. Replace 2 with 2 and 4 with 4. That's a super cool function, but that's not what we're trying to do here. Yeah, very cool, but not quite what I want. Cheat sheet. Vectors. Collections, count empty, capabilities, sequential, type tests, conj, maybe conj, added. The addition may happen in different places depending on the concrete type. Rest, pop. Oh, assoc in. Guess I can use assoc in on a vector as well. Perfect. So instead of conjing, we're going to assoc in the thing we're doing at the index of defin row index. It's going to be 0, not defin, but def call index is going to be 1. All right, and actually 0. So I'll get that in there. All right, assoc in at row index images call index picture.png, not wrapped in a vector. Thank you. All right, does that do what we want? No. We need a keyword row index. Vector's key for assoc must be a number. Keyword call index, I think that's it. Keyword 0. No? It does. Okay. Keyword string call index picture PNG. All right. So if we let's get that back in there. See what this looks like. All right. That's what we want. Yep. All right. Cool. So instead of that function, which we will keep for reference, but probably don't need anymore, we will swap whatever was in there with the image URL. String call index, row index, atom blocks. Yes. More parangoofin. Yeah, I need to come up with a reproducible example of when that happens to me, and then yeah, maybe I can send those to the Calva guys over on Slack, because yeah, you guys never created a bug that's been like totally like indecipherable to me, like something I couldn't fix, but makes me extraordinarily nervous. Okay. Block window pane, images 0 and 1, 2 and 3. So I guess we can update the states, but we can't. Can't render them. Okay. Now buttons, template grid, render contents. Oh, you know what? I probably shouldn't have this function anymore because that's not the one we're using. We're rendering template grids. Okay. Okay, there's a good example. So when I do render template grids, check this out. Or no, hold on. Render content. Add an inline comment. Paren goes right there. Not something I want to happen. Time did that happen? It's 10:55. Oh. Mark that down for later so I can go back to the timestamp. Okay, render template grids. So template layer, right. Block item with the template map. Can I just call this right now? That's cool. Okay, atom blocks. So we got a block with order pertaining to images. Oh, looks good. It's all right. Now we just need to decipher this crazy do. Okay, so let's say like def item is going to be atom blocks at index 0. Let's make sure that works. Okay, so print line item. Print line item. Yep, okay, so we can print line it. So the block of the atom is window pane. Window pane image render is what we get. Then the prop with the image map. Images, item. Right. Images, item. So I guess the template renderer is where we're going wrong here. So we're passing the image map down correctly. So I guess we just have to go into the layout blocks, image map 0, 1. Oh, okay, right. Yeah, I get you. So that was from before when we were doing our tuple refactor, but now the data is changed. Get in image map. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. So now what we can say is like 0, 1, 2, 3. Now we can say 0 and 1 down here. And yeah, man, we have forgotten to do Control W, but we won't forget for long. Man, now we don't even need a concept of a row index in this component, do we? Hey, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I have a mini blog note for Loop and Recur that I post in Slack. I'll keep updating it as I practice. Oh yeah, please do, man. Please do. Yeah, post your stuff, man. Inquiring minds wanna see what you guys are up to. Especially as you're learning, because like I'm learning too. So what you guys are learning is gonna you know, enhance my own abilities and the things I know about this language, and you know, just having like general knowledge of like what a new closurist encounters and experiences, and like how they get a concept into their mind. Yeah, no, please put that in the channel, put that in Slack. Okay, so now we get back to deletion, which is what we were trying to simplify, and I think now that we spent a little time making things just a little bit smarter, deletion is all of a sudden going to get a lot simpler. Okay, so delete layout block. Yeah, now we can just do vec remove, I think, because atom blocks is just a vector. Now delete layout block becomes a process of resetting our atom blocks to vec remove at the appropriate index. We do lose our super cool remove layout block function, but it's only cool if it serves us. Okay. No something present for something else. Right. Don't pass the dereferenced atom to your swap function. Can I delete 1? Yes. Can I delete 2? Yes. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so here's the real test. Here's what we were trying to do. Can I add 2 of these? Add that image and that image. Can I delete this and have this one become the new like row 0? And I can. Yes. Excellent. 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 Now if I go to atom blocks and look at what there is, it's just an empty vector. Cool. Okay. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. It's nice to have people to celebrate a little bit with. So I've worked by myself numerous points in my life and my career, and I think I'm just social, man. I think I need people, which is kind of an uncomfortable thing to admit, but you know, We're human after all, aren't we? Yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, so that kind of gets back to your point, Teach Tyler, when you were talking about Peter levels before, because, yeah, was that like a tweet index.php Peter levels? Yeah, this one. Record sales of 2000. Yeah. RemoteOK.io is a single PHP file called index.php, generating $2,000 a day. No frameworks, no libraries. So, I mean, this is like the struggle of my programming life, right? It's like the idea that, like, something that is like super simple and like uncomplicated and, you know, comes from a strategy of just like throw stuff at the computer until it works. Like, you know, you can totally do that. I think most software is like that, where it's just like this giant pile of like crazy spaghetti, and you know, it goes out there, it works well enough to make money, and if it works like well enough to make money and people can use it like reasonably successfully, man, you know, it does what they need to do, and if it fails, it probably failed because of some, like, obscure edge case that, you know, 3 people in this world experience and 3 people in this world care about, then, like, yeah, go do it. But, Peter levels, hiring. He also wrote a new blog, Peter levels blog, about Remote OK. Yeah, he also wrote a blog where he was like, you know, I need to hire people now because this thing has gotten so... Was it this? No one should ever work. Man, this guy's blog is not built for my hire. Normalization of non-deviance. Is this it? Without a team. Yeah, this is it. Okay. Without fancy technology, without paid marketing. And now for normalization of non-deviance or the end of index PHP. Now I've proved this to be a considerable amount of revenue, yada, yada, yada. My sites are finally stable enough, and I don't need to put out fires or fix bugs all day, so this month I've started to think about hiring people. For that, I need to clean things up, so I think my new focus is normalization of non-deviance. Instead of Scrappy, I'll try to do things properly from this stage on, or at least for Nomad List and Remote OK. So I think, and I'll post this in the chat if you guys want to take a look. Look, or don't. So I think that strategy comes to an end eventually, and the fact that it comes to an end is like just kind of a fact of the universe. Like once you get to a certain size, like a bunch of wacky, like kind of cobbled together code is just like unsustainable. But yeah, do you have to like start that way every single time? Like, does it have to be like total spaghetti from the start and then you fix it later, or can you like? My theory, the way I want the universe to be, is that you can like take some small, deliberate, like, very targeted, very intentional choices to write something in a way that's going to, like, leave you open to being more flexible in the future. So, making technology choices that, you know, are smart and cheap and enable you to, like, stay flexible and, like, keep writing features and, like, not writing code that's, like, trying to like deal with and tame and you know, wrangle the code that you just wrote into something that like just works when you need a new feature. Let's see, build clean mode with closure from the get-go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the whole reason I chose this language in the first place, because I think it strikes that really good balance between code that is like, it's not impossible to write spaghetti with closure, but it's, like, much harder to write spaghetti with closure than it is with PHP. So, yeah, that's my theory anyway. We'll see if it plays out over the course of the year. But, yeah, if you, like, you know, write it well from the beginning, then I think you can save yourself a lot of headache later on. And I think the payoff comes sooner than most people think. I think. Okay, so enough proselytizing and head bashing. Let's get back to the business of building this thing. Atom images. I'm pretty sure I can just delete you. Excellent. All right. I'm not doing my morning summary anymore, am I? I also like to daydream. Definitely seems possible coming from JS. Oh yeah, man. Not doing my morning summary anymore, am I? Building out UI for Pic Story. Very possible to write amazing JavaScript. Very possible to write crazy JavaScript. Yeah, man. So I think we are fully prepared to move on to inserting images. And I think we should definitely delete our old janky code. Yeah, whatever. Code formatting, that's something I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit along the way. So we got tools to do that for us. Okay, so add something in between. I've got kind of this idea where, like, I've got little buttons that are, like, hanging out here on the side, and so, like, the vision would be, like, you've got some kind of, like, editing UI here, and you say, like, edit, add layout blocks, and everything kind of moves to the side. So if you can imagine, like, all this moving off to the side, and then you get, like this would be the screen that you see, and these buttons come up where it's like, add layout block here, add layout block here. So you can kind of see off to the side what you've got, and then over here is, like, the buttons for adding things. But I suppose it's easy enough to start with buttons that are just in line with the grids, right? So I think with the way I've got my, like, grid layout set up, I'll make this a little easier to see. Like, we've got a button layer, we've got a template layer, and I think what I can do is I can just, like, add the buttons in between each layout grid. Now I've got this. So I've got, like, the button layers that add the images, and I think what I want to do is I want to just, like, add something in between these two things where there's, like, a new row with, like, an add image in between button, and then maybe they'll, like, live there forever in between the layout blocks, or maybe I'll do that thing where they're off to the side. But yeah, and then we start from the start. Render layout buttons. Okay, so before any layout blocks and in between every layout block, I need to add a button. So I think what that means is this. Into an empty vector, go the following things. Map indexed. Do the following. Well, as a first step, let's see if this works. P hello world. Something like that. Can I do a do block and just, like, render these things right next to each other? I think I'll probably need a fragment. If indeed anything is rendered at all when I do that. What? Render layout buttons. How did that not do anything? Okay. Didn't save the file. Button layer. I think it should have layout block map, image selector. Yeah, what? I think the app should be crashing or rendering something. It's a little weird that's not doing anything. Maybe it's doing that amazing but kind of annoying closure thing where it's just kind of failing silently and like doing what it knows how to do. Yep, that was exactly what was going on. The closure has this like amazing but kind of nerve-wracking ability to kind of like run as much code as will function. So you can write something that just like fundamentally doesn't work, but it'll just be like, well, I don't know what's going on, but you know, I'll do my best. Was this what you wanted? And it's most of what you wanted, but you also wanted to know at the same time that you know, the thing you tried didn't work. So right, I think I'm gonna need to go into some CSS for my button layer. Yeah, what should this be? So button layer goes in template grid. And I think button layer needs some layout properties. So kind of want to stick with grid. You could do this with flexbox. Grid, templates, rows, auto, grid, template columns, one fraction. So will this give me what I want? Not quite. Button layers grid. Ah, it's that thing where, okay, so if we delete our template layer, delete node, we're actually getting what we want on the button layer, but now we also have to like contend with the template layer too, which is like kind of disconnected from a DOM perspective from the button layer. So, right, more tricky things. And if I did like the following, 2rem auto, I think I would get a space for future buttons, which is great. But now if I refresh and I get the templates back in there, the whole template is going to try to fit inside that first row. Template layer, right. And if we add another one, just going to get a bunch of crazy lines. Template layer, was it doing that? Yes, it's doing that. Maybe if I just offset the templates by a certain amount. So I want 2rem for our insert in between button, but then if I give the classes window pane and side by side a top margin of 2rem, I think that'll fix my problem. Pane margin top 2rem. Side by side margin top 2rem. Although now we're having the problem where the selectors and the templates share the same class name. So I think I'm going to use I'm gonna use Tailwind for this. Add blocks. All right, render template grids, block item, template map. Right, so window pane image renderer, this is going to have a class of, it's the Tailwind equivalent for margin top 2 rem. Tailwind docs. Margin. It's going to be margin 8. MT8. Side by side, margin top 8. And now I think I'm good. Maybe. Yes. Alright, so we got our templates in the right spot. We got our future button row in the right spot. Everything's like layered on top of itself as it should be, so now we can continue. That kind of sucks that every time we want to do a layout change here, we have to also update those classes, but that's okay. All right, so let's go back to our P. Hello. Now we're going to turn this paragraph into a button. So let's get our primary CTA button in there. All right. Yeah, add new layout block. Exactly. Don't even need to change the copy. And new layout block. All right, so now stuff looks great. You know what? We only need the one. We only need it above, because we've already got one that can add a template below, and now we have one that can add a template above, but there's not enough room for it. So and new layout block. It'd be cool to have a secondary CTA. And I've done that in the past by having the secondary CTA be like an outline basically, but I think I'm not going to do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give this more room to rem. Let's see if like 6 rem. 6 rem is pretty generous. 4 rem, 5 rem perhaps. Yeah, 5 rem looks good for that. So 5 rem back here to figure out what 5 rem is. Margin top 20. Okay, right, so we got our buttons now, and yeah, we need to tell them, the click handler that is, where to add the image. All right, 1121, I'm pretty sure I can get this to work. Okay, so index, so add layout block. What does this look like? It'd be cool if there could be like maybe like insert index. Yeah, add layout block at this insert index. Oh. Let's find the other place where this is being used. Last. Okay. Ooh, this, well, could be an interesting opportunity to get into multi-methods. There's such thing as runtime polymorphism, multi-methods, def multi. Yeah, this is a really cool way to write a function that has like multiple function bodies. So, like, I basically got like two ways I'm gonna call this function, right? Like, for this one on the bottom, I'm gonna say like add layout block last, and so if it's last, what I know that I can do is I can just call call this function as I had written it before, since this is like the function that will like push any layout blocks into that vector, like just add them to the end, conch them onto the end. So yeah, you know what, let's get a little freaky. Let's try that. Def multi shape. This is all a bit baroque for my beginner mind, so I think I'm going to go back to plotters where we had a real good example of this. Plotters app temp, is that where it is? Was it in sense? I think it's in here. So in plotters, we were using this to send example amp, sent example server. We're using this to intercept the debug sockets. I'm gonna stop talking so I can actually find what I'm talking about here. Handlers. Event message handler. Game debug. Where was it? It's in the app. Oh boy, gotta figure out how to not search the whole application every single time. Def multi. Yeah, maybe the def multi. Def method, was that it? Yeah, kind of just want to do this. Cond. Yeah, let's go back to cond. I can get a similar thing if I use a cond block. So cond equals inserts index last. Call this function. And then you can say like, is that like a type of number inserts index? You could say like true. So if it's a number, we can write our new function. But what's the problem now? If test returns, cons evaluates and returns the value of the corresponding expression. One too many parens. One too few parens. Paren problems. Yes, okay, this is now correct. Alright, so if we click that button, we should see a bunch of problems. Right, so we can still add a new layout block, that's cool. And now we should get the print line high if we click one of the other buttons. Doink, doink. Nope. Do it now. Maybe if we change the condition else. Dunk, dunk, dunk. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I guess I hadn't written that predicate correctly. That's fine. All right, so now, yeah, we're gonna have a different function. Swap atom blocks. We have a vec remove. I bet we could use this to. Oh, you know what? We have association. We have association for vectors. Association one. Oh no, that's for changing an existing one. What was this in JavaScript? Splice. It's either splice or slice. I can never remember. Changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing existing elements and or adding new elements. January, February, March, April. Array splice closure. Idiomatic sequence slice. Pretty sure that's what I want. Insert item, add index, closure. Concat before, pretend after. Split at 5. I have 2 concerns about your data structure. I'm concerned about your Stack Overflow comments, sir. Alright, where was I? Okay, so now we need a function. Define insert at. It's going to take an index and a vector. Vec. Is vec a thing? Yes. List, is that a thing? Yep. Collection. Call. Insert at an index and a collection. Alright. So we've got our let block, that's fine. Let before and after be split at the index, the collection. Now we do a vector concat before index. Need something to insert, don't we? Index item and collection. Oh, what a nice little function. That's Stack Overflow in a nutshell. I have problem X. You can't have problem X. You must have problem Y. Here's the solution to problem Y. That doesn't help. I really have problem X. Question closed. Duplicate of problem Z. Yep. It's a certain category of programmer just revels in stuff like that. Insert at like 1 Stack Overflow I wish was nicer. Nope. I wish Stack Overflow was nicer. Yeah, I guess I'm adding a object, aren't I? Like really what I'm doing is like string stack overflow. Now it's turning my map into a vector, isn't it? Concats. I think what I want is into. Turns new collection consisting of 2 collection with all the items in from collection conjoined into this thing goes maybe apply into before item after maybe invalid arity for maybe a quoted list of those things. Invalid arity of 4 for what's one function doesn't have the right arity. Oop, new chat. Reporting in from my phone, computer's screaming, training neural networks. Excellent. I think this text is probably a bit small for your phone screen, but yeah, thanks for joining in, Kevin. I appreciate it. I hope your neural networks compute the stuff. Ah, man, we're really close. Really close. String stack overflow. Before item after. So why didn't concat work? Concat 1, 2 into 3, 4. Into the vector goes the concatenation of those things. Ah, man, I'm remembering like some kind of blog or comment or something on Slack that was talking about the subtle but important differences between concat and into. So let's see. Concat before, item after. Concat takes sequences. Right. Concat takes sequences before, item after. So something like this. Ah, perfect. That was exactly it. Damn, son. I can't believe you could read that. Must have a big phone, man. What it means is the item needs to be in a vector, not a single item. Yeah, I think this is what I want, right? Because like before, I was getting something crazy where it was like splitting the whole string into I guess what must have been a sequence. So I think I can do this now, right? Insert at 1. Yeah, okay, this is what I want. Now we can do apply string to that. Yes. I wish stack overflow was nicer. Maybe it will be someday. All right, that's exactly what we want. Excellent. A subtle but important tip: wrap the item in a vector before concatenating it. So, thank you very much. Whoa, hello. Item in a vector. Why did I? What? Restream IO. Where did that come from? 11:37. Did I just like fat finger that all of a sudden? Am I being hacked? Yeah, maybe a restream chat bug of some type. Anyway, we got the function we need, right? So otherwise I don't see it in the chat. That's interesting. I don't see it. Oh, I see it, but you don't see it. Bugs, right? We were having a big discussion about that earlier. Okay, insert index. Add layout block. I guess we'll have to have a selected layout block, right? Selected layout block. Insert the insert index, the selected layout block into atom blocks. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we got our insert before and insert in between figured out. Wish this thing would auto scroll. Cue the X-Files theme. Ah, man, good memories of watching that on TV. Back when I was a youngin'. I suppose I still am. Else insert at the insertion index. Swap atom blocks. Oh, we got not adding the right thing. We're just adding the block. We're not adding the well, you see what I mean. Still not adding it though. Refresh for good luck. Nope. Let's go slow here. We selected the window pane. And okay, we selected the window pane and we click the first button. What is atom blocks now? There's one single thing. Okay, so our function isn't going off. Oh, right, because I'm not swapping the thing. I'm just creating a new vector. I'm not updating my state with that new vector. Okay, so this is going to be a swap atom blocks with the following function. That's the thing we're swapping. Okay, so I think now it works. Yes. Yes. We can insert in between. Excellent. And because we wrote it in a slightly clever way, we can not only insert in between, so we can insert before. Great. And we can delete. No, we can't delete. Undelete is null. So delete layout block. Man, we've almost gone through the whole CRUD cycle. Undelete is null. Really? Enter layout buttons. Delete layout block. Undelete. Unclick means call on delete at that index. Component complains of this. The image selector does. Unclick on delete row index. Unclick on delete row index, yes. It seems like I'm calling the right functions with the right props. And I think that worked before, didn't it? Can I start with my first one, delete it? Nope. Can't access property something something because something's null. No errors here. Return on delete. Invoke arity. On delete, invoke arity. So if this function has this prop called invoke arity, then call that function on the row index. So at least reading the JavaScript error makes me think that I've got some kind of problem with the function. Do I? On delete layout block. Resets add-in blocks with the result of removing the vector. Row index is the index. We can add a layout block, we can delete a layout block. Can we just on delete can we just say like line hi? Refresh for good luck. Click the button. What if we change the function call to just tie our onClick to the onDelete function we passed in? Window pane, yes. Okay, so now it's not doing anything, but it's also not logging anything. onDelete is an anonymous function that print lines the string hi. We pass it to the components. Inside the component it has this name. onClick is onDelete. Man, I was working like 20 minutes ago. I wonder what I did. What? Window pane image selector. Alright, so we can call the function. At least we're not extra crazy. On delete row index. So next up is printing the index. onDelete is null. Okay. So something about how we're passing the prop down, I think. onClick, add photo. Oh yeah, this is all goofed up, isn't it? Paren goofs. Been dogging me all morning. onClick is null. On-click, add photo. What could be null about this? We can render the block. More paren goofs. Possibly. Should onClick be an anonymous function? What's the squiggly under do? A do squiggle. Oh, yep. Redundant do. Oh, yeah, that's, I think that's, Marie Kondo complaining at us, because it thinks this do is redundant, but I think in actuality with, the function we've got here, we do actually need the do block. Block item. I've paren goofed. I think it needs to be like that. Yep, that was it. Paren goofs. Oop. Now I can delete it. Nope. Ah, right. Because I'm only print line of the index. Undelete row index. I delete you now? Yes. Awesome. Okay. We've got the whole... I thought we had the whole cycle. Oh, man. What was that error I just saw? Close. Close. Add a new one. Images. New one. What's this? Oh, something became a list when it should be a vector, so that has to do with how I'm adding blocks to my atom. Yeah, what's atom blocks right now? Right. Atom blocks. Let's find where your insert at. Oh, insert at's giving me right. Insert had this call to the vec function from before. Okay, so now I think I got it. As copied from Stack Overflow, it had that thing in there. Excellent. Oh, my dudes, we got this. I don't think we got it here, do we? We can't delete, but we can add. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, it's 11:51. I bet I can add a close button to this window pane thing, and we've completed the whole CRUD process from start to finish for images anyway. That's great. Alright, window pane. Now we need this. Div class equals relative. You're always so kind with the emojis, Teach Tyler. Thank you very much. I appreciate the celebratory graphics. Okay. Absolute onClick, onDelete. We need a onDelete function for this too. And that should be it. Layout's good. Yep, layout's good. Oh, it already has an onDelete. That's been passed in. That's been passed in already. Awesome. But. It's fun to click around once you finally figure this thing out. Very good. Great, guys, we got it. We got it. It's here. It's there. Excellent. Cool. Yeah, so that's it for the image UI. We've got more templates to add. We've got this layout stuff down here to fix. I mean, these are going to live in a totally different place anyway, so I'll fix that at a later juncture. But so far as adding blocks to the layout, choosing where you want to add an image, choosing where you want to add a layout block, and deleting them, it's done, man. So yeah, remaining steps are picking an image that you uploaded through the service. So finally going to get back into the back end part of this, which is exciting. Yeah, picking the image when you click that button as opposed to just those like preloaded like meme images. Adding text blocks, and then yeah, we've got the basic elements of like a layout. And then once we've got the basic elements of a layout, we get into adding like customization options for the layout. So that's like text styles, fonts, alignments, things like that. Sizes, possibly putting text in these layout panes. But yeah, man, we're making progress. That's cool. We got the basics figured out, and man, I've got like a whole day left in the week, so that's good progress. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining. Was that like a referee or something with the black and white? Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining me this morning. Bit of a shorter stream, but yeah, feeling good. So I'll sign out for now. Have a good afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where in the world you are, and catch you later, guys. Thank you very much.